All right, so I am here with Derek Halpern, and Derek is a conversion expert. He'll talk more about what that means. Basically, he shows people how to turn web traffic into leads and sales from a nonprofit's perspective. It's going to be donations, volunteers, and so forth. He's worked with Chris Brogan, David Risley, Pat Flynn, and a whole bunch of other people. Derek, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, John? I'm really excited to be here. And I got to say, I'm really glad we're looking at InboundZombie.com. And I'll tell you why. I've mainly done site reviews for just traditional blogs, whereas Inbound Zombie is more of a service-based site,
Hmm.
which is really cool. And the really good part is, since we're going to be going through this and pulling out things that you can do to improve your conversion rates, a lot of this stuff will apply directly to nonprofits too, because nonprofits might not necessarily have a regularly updated blog, but they might have some core pages, much like Inbound Zombie has.
Yep.
So a lot of, even though we're going to be focusing in on your service-based business, I want everyone to pay close attention, and I will make sure to pull out some ideas and show you how what I'm telling you to do for your site applies directly to nonprofit websites.
Sounds great.
All right?
All right.
Cool. I guess we'll just jump right in. I'm on inboundzombie.com right now, and I gotta tell you, I'm digging the new design. Looks good. Blue is a very good color for working with nonprofits. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that people tend to trust blue.
Hmm.
Now, the one thing I'm concerned with on your homepage is the fact that it's very, very short. It only has a navigation and then 3 different options.
Hmm.
Now, I think that's okay. I think it's an okay thing. I think you're going to be channeling traffic to those pages since that's the only option they have.
Yeah.
The issue I'm worried about is people might come here and think it's an empty site. They might think that there's nothing else going on here.
Mm.
And a lot of studies, testing has always shown that longer sales copy always sells better than shorter sales copy.
Got it.
So even though you're getting people from custom WordPress websites, learn more, Facebook page launcher, learn more, online fundraising strategies, learn more. Looks great. Then you got a testimonial, and that place is perfect for a testimonial. I think you should just go into a little bit further of what Inbound Zombie does and why Inbound Zombie is the right choice for people.
Okay.
When people hit your homepage, what are they thinking? They're not necessarily thinking, all right, how can they help me right off the bat and how can I pay them? They usually want to think, is this person right for me? Then how can I pay them?
Got it.
Now, I think you could start off with having your products front and center like you currently have. Just bolster something below it to help answer that question of, is Inbound Zombie right for me? Let's take a look at your Zombie Team tab.
Okay.
I love this tab. I think Zombie Team is huge. And let me tell you why. When people do business with people online, they usually like to know who they're doing business with. And I like that you have Zombie John, Zombie Kim, Zombie Tina, and then Oscar and Joe. The one thing I would consider doing, really, maybe instead of having a tab thing like you currently have, like, where people have to click to see the other people, I would consider just listing it out, make it stacked on top of each other. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to make it easy for people to see who's on the team. People like it. And then to top it off, I think each person needs a picture. There's been some research and suggestions that, that people trust people when they see pictures of them. So if you're not showing pictures, a lot of people will think, why aren't they showing pictures? And since you're going to be catering towards the nonprofit audience, they want to know, you want to be able to get those nonprofits to trust you. So show your picture. I know your picture's all over the place,
Yeah.
but they might be curious about Kim and Tina.
Yep. Got
Now,
it.
let's pull this to nonprofits. Now, a lot of nonprofits have about pages where they show teams.
Yep.
I would say almost all nonprofits should show a picture of their staff also, because again, it just builds that trust. And you need to have, especially with nonprofits, people need to trust a nonprofit before they'll even consider donating, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Now, another thing that I think would be really interesting here is you focus a lot on what you do for the nonprofit. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about keeping it benefit oriented towards your client. But I think nonprofits are a different little beast because a lot of people who are in nonprofits aren't doing it for the money. They're doing it because they usually have a story behind why they're doing what they're doing. Like I have a friend who always runs these marathons and she helps contribute to a nonprofit. And the reason why they do that is because she has a friend with this disease or whatever. And that's why she works for this nonprofit. I think each team member needs to have a reason why you're choosing to work for nonprofit. There has to be a story you can tell. Let's talk about your zombie services page.
Okay.
This page is probably where you need the most work. And I want to tell you why. It's not really clear what you do at all.
Okay.
You have a Facebook like page here, which I would not have on your services page, by the way. I would instead really bolster this page and explain specifically what people do. I know you're liking this sliding thing where you've got get plans, get tools, get a Ouija board, but people are accustomed to browsing the internet in a certain way. In general, you don't want to affect the way they're used to browsing the internet. When people hit a page like this, they expect to see a headline, they expect to see some content, whereas you kind of don't have the traditional things that people expect to see here. And I think that from a conversion standpoint, it's hard to really track all of this, but you know, think about it. People don't like to feel uncomfortable when they visit a site that they just found. You know, they want to be able to find what they need to find. And if they're used to seeing headlines and content, give them headlines and content. Highlighting some quotes there from zombie clients might be good.
Yep.
If you have any case studies you have written about clients that you've worked with that demonstrate results, offering a PDF download of something along those lines might be a good thing over here. So it gets people wanting to hire you as a service provider.
Cool. Okay.
So that's what I would do here.
Quick question for you. You said the case studies should be maybe a PDF download, and that to me it's kind of counterintuitive to me because I would think, oh, wouldn't you want those case studies searchable?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And why a PDF download?
The reason why that I'm going to say PDF download is this is basically for the nonprofit audience.
Yeah.
And I think this applies directly to people soliciting donations too. Usually when people are looking to hire a firm like yours, it's not the person in charge of the nonprofit, I would say. I would usually say there's maybe a marketing person that's going to take this and present it to someone else. Am I right?
Exactly, yeah.
So now, since that's the case, they want to take this and present it to someone else. If you give them a PDF download, they could then print that out and then take it and present it to someone else without pulling up links.
Wow. Yeah, and the other thing about that is that not only they're going to leave my site at some point, right? But I'm still on their desktop.
You could even say something as simple as, "Look, here's the case studies to present to your boss." You can even make it very clear, you know. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this: get plans, get tools, and get Ouija boards.
Got it.
I love get plans. I love get tools. I don't get Ouija board. I love that too, really. But the one thing that I'm concerned with is the more clever you are with what you do, the less people will understand what you do. Now, I think you can name get Ouija board, get tools, get plans, but if you break it out of this sliding format that you can have get tools and then a little more descriptive headline below it. Be a little more specific because specific always sells better than vague. Let's take a second to break this down for nonprofits.
Yep.
Talked about PDF downloads. Nonprofits, you might not necessarily have case studies per se, but you will have examples of people you've helped. You will have demonstrations of people you've helped. And you should definitely write those stories about people you've helped. And I'm saying people specifically because this always shocks me, but direct marketing has proven over, I don't even know how long, but have you seen those commercials where they'll show a picture of someone and then say, you can help this kid for $1 a day?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's direct.
Now, exactly. When people see that, they think, okay, I can help that kid for $1 a day. That's a very persuasive offer.
Yeah. Whereas
there's other nonprofits that say stuff like, oh, 10 million people have died in this city. Help them by donating today. When you say there's 10 million people that that need your help, donate today. A lot of people think, all right, what am I gonna do to help 10 million people. I'm obviously not able to do that, so they don't take action. When you say something along the lines of help this person today, they think, you know what, I can help that person for only $1 a day. You know what I mean? It's just a connection thing. So with nonprofits, and you're thinking about putting case studies, it's great to have personal stories of individual people that you've helped. People don't think that they can help cure cancer. They think they can help little Johnny get some medical treatment, though. You know what I mean? You need statistics. Statistics are important, of course, but you don't want to make that the highlight. You want to have that connection. Same way with you. You want to tell that story about nonprofits you work with because people could connect with that story. You want to, if you're a nonprofit, you tell the story about people you helped because people could connect with that story. Again, now I want to go back to your homepage again and just take a look at some of your services. You have custom WordPress websites, learn more. I'm clicking on that to take a look at your custom WordPress websites. Here's the deal. Your main headline is turn your website into a business tool. Is that really targeted towards nonprofits? Is that a good headline? I would tweak that headline and actually make that, you know, nonprofits aren't trying to create business tools. Nonprofits are trying to turn their website into a donation gathering tool. Make that a promise that nonprofits could directly connect with. Now, I noticed you've got a very long form for the website quote generator.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Part of my goal with this form is to have people prove that they're interested by going over a few hurdles.
Yeah. So I think
that's a
good idea.
Yeah.
I think having a longer form to have people prove it is great.
Yep.
I think it might be a little too long. If you find that you need a form this long, I would just do this. I wouldn't build this into your page. I would build that into a separate page and make it like a 3-step form. Like step 1, form, enter your name, email, phone number. Step 2, and then press next, and it goes to the next where you ask for more information. One of the benefits of that too is every time the person presses next, there's some sunk cost that they've realized that they've already filled this out, and I have to fill this out to finish. All right, let me fill this out because I'm already it creates that momentum. Yeah. And it makes it so people are more likely to fill it out when you break it up like that because you build that commitment with people as they're filling out your form. Yeah, so if you look at their homepage, startupdigest.com, you'll see how they got your email, your events, your articles, VIP. Like you could kind of see that that's a 4-step form that they have there. All right, so that's my advice for the WordPress website. Instead of breaking that whole form there, maybe send people to the form on a different page where it's a stepwise form. Let's take a look at your Facebook launcher page.
Cool.
My one concern is that the line length is very, very long. Now, here's the problem with this. There's some research that suggests that people prefer to read articles and text with shorter line lengths of about maybe 6 to 8 words. And if they see longer line lengths, they're actually turned off by it. Okay. Now, 6 to 8 words ranges from 300 to like 380 pixels. If you're running a website, it does not make sense to have a content column that little. There's some tricks here. When people see the short line length, they're more likely to read because it seems like it's less work. But the funny thing is even though they seem like it's less work, they can actually read longer line lengths faster. Copywriters have long known that if you get people to read the first few sentences of your text, they're like 10 times more likely to complete your whole article. So what I do is I tend to have an image that shortens my line length towards the top of my article to get people reading. You know, I'll have an image that's aligned right and my text to the left. Makes my line length a little bit shorter, gets people reading, and then my content widens out. Now, the other thing is, with this particular page, to really up those conversions, you need a more specific headline. Get started the right way on Facebook is not really persuasive. You need to have some kind of benefit, you know what I mean? Like, why? Get started the right way on Facebook. Who cares? That's what I'm thinking. You always have to who cares all of your sentences. Get started the right way on Facebook and turn Facebook into a donation-generating machine. You know, you don't want to be hyped. You don't want to add hype to it, but you want to be able to put the benefits of it. The one thing I would do on this form page is you got people filling out this form. It's time to reassure them why they're filling out this form. You need some testimonials on the side of this page.
Okay, cool.
To reinforce why people are going to be there. Like on DIYthemes.com/plans. If you take a look at the pricings page, where they see thesis theme for WordPress, professional support, world-class SEO, design and code flexibility, 30-day money-back guarantee, just going there, reassuring people why they're filling out this form. That's some real ninja stuff.
Cool.
You want to have something that reassures people why they're doing what they're doing. My last comment I want to talk about is, again, with the homepage. I think that's pretty much it, man. I mean, this is a pretty good site. It's a good site. It does its job. I mean, this is your business. A lot of this type of feedback applies directly to nonprofits also who are running their websites. And it's very easy to overlook things like, you know, stepwise forms, stories, putting testimonials where people are filling out information or donating, and just reassuring people why they're doing what they're doing. Well, I hope everyone else finds this valuable. If people are interested in this type of stuff that I talk about, you can find me at socialtriggers.com, and that's pretty much it, man. I had a lot of fun doing this. Thanks for having me.